When I was 14, all I was worried about were boys and how I was getting out of my physical education class. When William Holmes McGuffey was 14, he was teaching classes at a school in Ohio. In 2006, an article was written by the editors of Encyclopedia Britannica that explained the life of William Holmes McGuffey, how he was born September 23, 1800 in Pennsylvania, and how he taught in Ohio frontier schools with little formal education. However, he continued his education under private tutors at Greersburg Academy while still teaching in those Ohio schools. Later in life, he became a student of philosophy and language at Washington College, and by 1826 he was on the faculty of Miami University in Ohio. He also fell in love with education and all its possibilities, so he assisted local elementary teachers and established a model school for his neighborhood children. By 1835, he contracted with the Cincinnati publishers Truman and Smith to compile a primer, a spelling book, and 4 school readers. In elementary school, the basis of our learning consisted of reading and writing, and although we may not have read exactly the McGuffey readers that our parents or our grandparents read, the McGuffey readers helped influence the ones that we do have. After choosing the topic about William McGuffey, I found information from many different sources, including Social Ideas and McGuffey Readers, Britannica.com William Holmes McGuffey, The Common School as a Marketplace, as well as others' works to help compile an informative amount of detail about William McGuffey. I concluded that William McGuffey was an American educator who greatly impacted elementary education through his series of readers. Through my main points, I hope to make clear how the popularity of the McGuffey readers came about, why the themes of these readers made such an impact, and the influence the readers had on grammar, structure, and the future generations. First, let's talk about the popularity of William McGuffey's series of readers. The McGuffey readers had several factors that played into why they became so popular. According to D.A. Saunders, author of the 1941 journal article Social Ideas and McGuffey Readers, in the Public Opinion Quarterly, says on page 582 that they were for their day surprisingly modern, and managed not only to include vigorous and excellent literature, but to do so deftly. That is one major reason the McGuffey readers are so different from the readers today. The McGuffey readers were made for the 1800s, and in that time it was modern. But today it's the 2000s, 2017 to be exact, and the 1800s readers aren't modern. Readers today are all about comprehension. A child sits and reads a story, facts about the story, and then answers questions at the end. McGuffey readers had exercises that help children sound out words, uses visual aids such as pictures to help explain certain words, and helps with grammar and sentence structure. That's one more difference as to why the McGuffey readers are different from the readers today. Also, according to Samuel James Smith, a writer for the Encyclopedia Britannica, wrote an article called The McGuffey Readers, which he published on April 27, 2016. This informed us that by 1925, more than 122 million copies were sold. Smith also included how the McGuffey readers taught more Americans to read than any other textbook. After being contracted with the Cincinnati publishers Truman and Smith in 1835, McGuffey began working on publishing his readers. The first and second edition were published in the year 1836, and the following year, 1837, the third and fourth edition followed. A few years down the road, McGuffey had help from his brother, Alexander Hamilton McGuffey, and they published the fifth edition in 1844, a spelling book in 1846, and the sixth edition in 1847. The wonderful thing about these readers was that they went up a grade level. This helped improve comprehension, grammar, and sentence structure. The McGuffey readers had an influence in grammar and structure as well as in life lessons. In an earlier slide, I had said how McGuffey readers used visual aids such as pictures to help explain certain words. These certain words are known as sight words, or normally words that the teacher goes over before the class starts reading, and also can be words at the beginning of a reading section for kids to look at and understand their context. Hen, fat, rat, and box are all sight words in the pictures and the sentences below to look out for, and allows kids to grasp a better understanding of them. According to the U.S. Department of the Interior for the National Park Service, who wrote an article called William Holmes McGuffey and His Readers in their Museum Gazette, wanted to state that the readers taught the phonics method, the identification of letters and their arrangement into words, how it aided with slate work, the understanding of the meaning of sentences, and definition of words at higher levels, which aided children who were at the highest level of comprehension when they finished their last book. Also, D.A. Sanders again informs us through this article that the ultimate measure of the McGuffey's influence is, however, the wide dispersion of his poems, stories, and proverbs among generations who have all but forgotten his name. Finally, I'm going to discuss the themes that were important throughout the McGuffey readers. William McGuffey placed themes in his readers that made children think about how they acted in life. On page 161 of Paul Berenson's book, American Work Values, Their Origin and Development, which was published in 1997 by Sunny Press, writes about how the McGuffey readers also published the lessons of perseverance and self-reliance, as well as praised competition and urged its readers to avoid the curse of envy. An article published in 2005 by William Damon for Education Next, called Good, Bad, or None of the Above, reports on how the McGuffey Reader's Code is simply stated. A child should be respectful, honest, diligent, kind, fair-minded, temperate in food and drink, and clean. Other themes stressed throughout McGuffey's readers were honesty, industry, charity, and piety, as well as patriotism, such as national unity, the glorification of the Revolution, the Founding Fathers, the flag, and most importantly, the American eagle. William McGuffey would also sprinkle a little bit of religion into his works, trying not to make it overbearing, but just enough so that it made you think about life. Lastly, Samuel James Smith states again in a separate article about the McGuffey readers that the readers also focused on practical consequences children might experience on Earth for lacking in kindness or productivity. In conclusion, William McGuffey created readers that are still influential today. William McGuffey was an American educator who greatly impacted elementary education through his series of readers. Everyone has an ability in them to do great things with their lives, just like William McGuffey, who changed the course of reading and writing education for generations to come.